Video 2, thrilling. Today we're going to change some SRAM code RSs on this Levo SL to Hope Tech4 E4 brakes. They're going to be so much better. Let's go. Fucking hell, I'm going to get out of here. Ciao, camera. This is my Levo SL. I use it for trail riding, places like QE, Rogate, stuff like that, where there's plenty of climbing and you want to have a load of fun. But the brakes are crap. They've been crap from day one. Very first time I had them serviced, I had them done by someone else. Then I did them myself, and I've always been told, oh, that's how SRAM brakes should feel. Fine if they feel the same as they do at the end of a ride as they do at the beginning, you know, a little bit of sponge, a little bit of give, but they don't. By the end of the ride, this travel, which is about a third of the actual lever at the moment, is back down to the handle. They just cook throughout the ride. So I'm going to get these off. I'm going to put Hope Tech4 E4s on there, which I have on pretty much all of my bikes other than a road bike, obviously. And they're absolutely mustard. So yeah, I'm going to change them over now. This is how wildly sort of unscripted my videos are. I've got to go and check I've got the parts. So I might see you in a few weeks. Those new to the channel, it's just what's on the agenda today. This needs doing. I rode this bike last week at QE. Halfway through the sort of one of the red descents, brakes just fading like mad. There's nothing worse than when you're pointing down and you lose your front brake. Well, there is. It's pulling it too hard. It's often a worse outcome. But yeah, so that's what's on the agenda today. Because it was ridden last week, it needs a clean, so we're going to give it a wash now. And you might get a little treat, because where I keep my parts is also where I keep some of my other favourite things, so I might just glance past them for sort of future episodes. Let's go and give it a wash, and then we'll go and find the bits, alright? We all got soaked, didn't we? Time to cover the van in the internet's biggest lie. Right, that's that clean. Time for that to go and stand. I'll run through this cube bike with you in a second. I wash and dry the van at the same time. Drying a van it's just 5 times more work than doing anything to a car. It's like trying to dry a whale. From a whale, it'd be wriggling around and stuff. You'd have to give it tons of plankton as a treat. Oh, look out! I'm in a different building now. this little box here is where I keep all of those bits that you think, oh, ought to throw that away. I'll never use it, and I never do. I know I never really throw much away at all, or really sell anything, to be fair, because I know that there'll come a day when I want to swap my brakes over, and I won't be able to because I threw it away. Anyway, come on, millions and millions of bits. Let's say bottom bracket, random bits. Nope. I don't think we're going to be able to make this work. Fuck. Looks like I need to go and get some hydraulic pipe. This behind me is my XR2. It's a little racing car. This is my Nova, which is an extremely clean sort of OEM car, other than the Alasios it's currently on. We have the, you know, I've got the factory wheels and stuff. I prefer the factory wheels. Nobody else really does. Strange. Let's crack on. Not a complete failure. Got a bike stand while I was over there, and the actual like maintenance stand as well, so I can get both bikes sort of stripped down. I'm going to try and use the SRAM hydraulic pipes. They should be the same. I'm just being fussy. I like a custom length pipe, but I've never cut down the Levo's brake pipes, which I usually do in, you know, most bikes that I have. So I should have loads of excess there, and I'll be able to cut them and refit the unions. Bike bits toolbox. Now I know in here somewhere I've got some Hope parts. I've got a little bag full of Hope olives and unions. That is exactly what we need. So there, oh, we've only got one olive, oh, and we've got 2 packets. Here we go. We've got everything we need. Just need to see if we've got the lights flickering again. Just need to see if I've got the pipes now. I'm pretty sure I will have. Right, if you're still here, this one's now clean. There's the sort of donor bike. I don't like calling it a donor bike. It means a lot to me, that bike. I've just measured, obviously it's the rear that I'm most concerned about, because the front should go straight on. Depends on the difference in sort of stack height between the bikes. The Levo is the larger of the 2 bikes. If we were going the other way, it'd be much easier. I've measured the pipes, and there's like a point of a millimeter, like a few points of a millimeter difference between the 2 pipes. Don't know why. The SRAM one's slightly thinner than the Hope one. Hopefully we can make that work. If we can't, I'll just have to order a rear, but the front should work straight off the bat. We'll have to see, because the Cube bike, I cut the Cube bike down to size. It's a 27.5 bike, which shouldn't really make much of a difference, but it's 140 travel over 150 travel, and but it does have a slightly longer head tube, so it should be right. Okay, it's tricky. This I'm not used to. I'm not used to shooting what I would usually just do on a standard day. Like I probably would have had this done by now. So I'm finding this tricky. Let me tell you about the Cube actually. So the Cube bike, what I sort of mentioned earlier on, I bought that bike at Solent Cycles in a place called Whiteley near us, so that I can just ride about with the kids. Now, to those who sort of know me, it might seem like the past few years I've had a bit of a boom with sort of cycling, like it's come out of nowhere. I've always ridden bikes, and quite specifically mountain bikes, and I've always screwed around with them as well. But I came off in 2006, something like that, ages ago. I smashed straight into a lamppost. And split my head, ended up in a CAT scan machine, and I didn't have the money to buy a bike. I ruined my bike, just didn't have the money to buy another bike, so I just got into other things, and yeah, I just didn't have a bike for ages. So this was the first bike I bought in like 15 years or something like that, And then obviously lockdown and everything like that, I just went a little bit mental with doing stuff to it. You know, I was ordering bits because they could turn up because those guys could still work and I could just muck around my bike at home. Then, you know, I ended up getting sort of really into it, and I sent it over to Fat Creations, Alistair and Bex over there, to paint it in this like splatter effect, like galaxy looking paint job, which is absolutely sick. Was it the wrong bike? Probably, because it's by far my least expensive bike, but it probably means a little bit more to me because of the circumstances in which I bought it, and I'll probably never really get rid of it. A, it's not really worth anything, but B, it's quite special to me. It's a little hardtail, it's really short, so you can chuck it about. It's 27.5, so it's snappy and poppy, but it's got, the specs are way ahead of the frame, but then the frame's got the Fat Creations paintwork on it, so it's great. Anyway, it's being used at the minute for a bit of a parts bin because my other sort of enduro trail bike is 27.5. I kind of prefer the fun of 27.5 bikes. I have sort of taken bits off of it and things like that. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I've taken a fair bit off of this. But this bike and that bike, they can swap parts. Everything's interchangeable, so I can try things, and if they don't work, I'll put them on this one and things like that. So it's particularly throbby, and I don't imagine many people care. But yeah, so hence why it's got an absolutely sick brake system on it, and I'm about to take it off and put it on a bike that I do a couple of thousand miles a year in. This is my least ridden bike, but when it does get ridden, it easily takes the hardest hit, you know. Yeah, let's get into taking it apart. Where would you even buy plankton in bulk anyway? Surprisingly tidy bike this, considering the mess it gets into. That's another thing about these SRAM brakes, is the Allen key that holds it on is interrupted by the actual caliper itself. Like, I'm a fan of SRAM transmission and things like that, and SRAM in general, to be fair, but these brakes are just whack. One times front brake removed. So I'm going to take this one off. Now, both of these bikes use SRAM gears. This is a GX Eagle, like mechanical, and the Levo uses a SRAM Axis electronic group set. But the mount is the same, so you can get all these Gucci little mounts for brake levers to make everything neat. So I should be able to transfer that. I don't need to take it off, basically. I'm always cautious with this because this is a Renthal fat bar that the guys at Fat Creations painted. I absolutely love it. But of course, when you're clamping stuff down, it can affect the lacquer and the paint underneath because it's softer than that of the sort of carbon finish. But look at that. Gorgeous. Another thing about shooting for, you know, showing you sort of what I do, is that I don't get to play any music because YouTube won't allow me to do that. So whilst you can probably hear some music in the background right now that I've chosen from some form of copyright-free platform, I'm here in silence, changing my brakes. Boo-hoo. Oh, these brakes are so wicked, look at them. Yum yum. Okay. That's enough of that. Hopefully if you've just come here because of the title and you're kind of looking for a tutorial, you can get the gist that this is just something that I do and something that I would do regardless of whether I was being recorded or not. This is ever an angle, this, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm not really one to I don't really have the techers to teach people about doing stuff on bikes. I just crack on and do it myself. And if I don't, there are people around me who can help me. Oh god, this is pleasant. Look at this. Look how fatty caliper that. If you're into cars, you'll be and bikes. This caliper will mean a lot. It looks just like a a mental sort of 6-pot on a car. Let's see if this fits on the Levo, and then we'll put the SRAM one back on here. The SRAM one will definitely fit on here because it will be longer. It's whether this fits on the Levo. I'm pretty sure we're good to go here, My concern was that this this brake hose would be too short. I suppose we'll see when we'll get the bracket lined up. Okay, it's not a bad shot for the first try. Oh, I feel the power. This pipe, this brake hose, it does fit and it's going to work, so I'll be able to ride this, but it's a little bit too short, so I'm going to order a pair of pipes as well. Jumped into this head first, in front of you, embarrassingly. So yeah, let's get some parts ordered and then we'll crack on, and then this bike will be able to brake. For now, this is rideable, and the brake that was giving me stick was the front brake mostly. The rear one will lock up and I can just skid it down a trail if I want to. But the front one, there was just no modulation. It was all on, straight to the bar, and I had as much as the bike could give, or that brake was willing to give, which wasn't enough. This will stop on a 6-pence and I'll be able to modulate the actual brake, which will slow me down the amount that I want to be slowed down, not just the amount that's capable, Wouldn't do that at all previously. It would just slow down to a stop, not even particularly quickly. I'm happy with that. Loads of power, loads of modulation. Let's go. We're in the gaff for the rear brake. I couldn't just leave it like that, having one front brake and one rear brake. We could be disturbed at any moment by a number of creatures. My wife's trudging around somewhere, taking Hunter around here. It's Boxing Day and Rocket will be in at some point. So let's try and get this done before we wind everyone up. I've already taken the lever off of the front of this one, and now I'm about to put it on this one. Let's go. I don't know what the weak link for the SRAM stuff is. It could be the triggers, it could be the calipers. It can't be the setup because I've done it so many times. And I even doubted myself and had it professionally done, and they felt exactly the same, and that's when I got the feedback that SRAM brakes are meant to feel like that. Right? Yeah.
Daddy,
Wait.
do you want to play Pebbles?
Play what, sorry?
Pebbles.
Yeah, in a minute though. I'm just
Why
doing my... Because I'm recording. I'll say hello.
Hello.
I'm just changing my rear brake over on this because I didn't want to leave it half done. Video 2 done. Alright, I told you it was going to be interesting. I've swapped out my SRAM code RS whole things for Hope Tech4 E4 on my Levo. Looks smart on the bars look nice and clean. Those RS sort of levers are just massive. And then you've got those mighty old boys on there. Like I say, it's not a tutorial this, it's just me showing you what I do sort of day to day, and this was the next task that I had. But if you do have any questions, if you're swapping yours out and stuff like that, things like the SRAM brake pipes, they fit the Hope products. You just have to cut the ends off, but be careful with the length that you have. This is all stuff that I know, it's just, I'm not really qualified to give people a tutorial, but if you want to ask me questions about it, then give me a shout. But yeah, I'll ride this tomorrow and I'll let you know how it goes. But I can already feel they're so much better. There's just, bite is just so much better on them. Anyway, take it easy, all right? I'm Carl, bye-bye.